Random stat gear is always a controversial topic when we look at gacha games, and it is something that's going to be in Honkai Star Rail, so love it or hate it, we're going to have to deal with it. Now, they do have a crafting system that goes a bit deeper than other games into the options that you have, and it's a great start, and I want to give you guys a look at this crafting system that they have, and also how I think they could evolve it to make it even better and make the random gearing system a little less tedious. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we are over on my account where I've spent the last 4 days doing maximum refills using my premium currency to refill stamina to farm some 5-star gear. Now, let's first of all look at the crafting system in the game. Like I said, this is a good start in the kind of right direction, but I feel like this needs a lot of improvements still. Let's take a look. So basically, we have this crafting system where you can craft a piece of gear of any set, and you can also select which slot you want to craft, which is pretty cool. Now, we also have the ability here to do customized synthesis. Now, to do this, you need a self-modeling resin. Now, to do this, you can only get this at the moment in the game from the battle pass. It does come in the free-to-play battle pass part at level 40, and that's the only one in the game at the moment that we can obtain. And if you use that, you will be able to customize the main stat of the piece of gear that you're looking for. The problem I have is I feel like with the cost of this synthesis. So if we look at this, it's going to cost me 100 of these, what are they called? Relic remains to craft one piece of gear. Now, if we go to salvage relics and we try and salvage a piece here, my head's actually in the way. Let me just move that. So you can see that in the bottom here, it's going to give us 10. So to craft one piece of 5-star gear, you need to salvage 10 pieces of 5-star gear. And if salvaging 10 pieces meant I could instantly choose the main stat of my gear, that would be, I feel like, a bit more balanced and okay. But the fact that you also then have to get this item that you can only get from one way in the game at the moment, it seems a bit expensive. I'd rather, if that's the way it is. Now, I was talking on stream, I don't play Genshin, so apologies if I get this wrong, but the guys on stream were telling me that in Genshin, you only have to scrap 3 pieces of gear to craft a new piece of gear. And the fact that this one is 10 pieces for the same exact system, and then you need this extra item to do it, I would love to see this be more on track with that, scrap 3 pieces to craft one piece idea, and then use the item, or just leave it at this more expensive cost, but let us customize the main stat no matter what. Now, when we expand on this further, I would love to see this leach into maybe being able to select substats. Now, I know balancing it is an issue and all that sort of stuff, but I think some way to ease that gear grind in this game would be nice, considering the fact that the stamina system is so limiting on how many runs you can actually do per day. When I look at it, I think you're going to be, if you don't buy any refills, which are ridiculously expensive, then you're probably going to be able to do about 8 runs per day to try and get some gear. So you're very limited on how many times you can run for gear, which means the RNG of getting bad gear is even more painful. Now, Genshin people always tell me about this, so I do apologize. Like I said, I don't play Genshin, so I haven't experienced this in Genshin myself. Coming from other turn-based gachas where you can just farm a lot more gear every day, it's not as impactful having the random stack gear, but I can see this one being very, very tedious. So having a way in the crafting system to be able to customize substats as well, whether it's like, it doubles the cost or something like that to be able to craft that gear to get a substat as well. Maybe you triple the cost and you can get 3 substats. Something like that I would love to see. Like I said, I'm not a game balancer. I'm not a game dev. This is just something I'd like to see to, ease the pressure on those types of things. But that is pretty much where we are at with this crafting system. You've got all the different sets and stuff that you can craft, and then you can just choose the main stat if you have this item. But like I said, if you don't have the item, you're out of luck. You've just got to scrap 10 pieces to get one random piece of gear. Like I said, it seems a bit expensive. Let me know what you guys think, but it is a point in the right direction that they even have this as an option. And like I said, I just want to see this evolve as much as possible so that maybe we can, you know, ease the main complaint that I see. There's two main complaints that I see with this game, and same complaint with Genshin, and that is the random stat gear, and the other one is the fact that the summon rates are low. Those are the two main complaints I see in the game, and if we can ease this complaint of the stats on the gear, that would be great to see. But at the moment, like I said, it feels a little bit too expensive. So we're going to go ahead and craft a piece. Like I said, I've spent 4 days grinding gear using max refreshes, and I've gotten this many 5-star pieces of gear plus the other 10 that I scrapped. Now, keep in mind for that, because of my Trailblazer level, I am currently level 43. I need to get to level 50 to unlock the next stage of these. There is one more stage to unlock, and the drops will be a lot more generous, meaning I should get a lot more for my time spent or my stamina spent in these. So I'm still at only the first level of unlocking these, and I've got another level to go to be able to get some better, you know, percentage drops, I'd say. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at it. This is not what end game farming is. This is like mid game farming, if you can call it that. And I'm just grinding this out so I can test as much in the beta as possible. So that is where we are. So let's jump over into the synthesis. Let's go ahead and craft a piece of gear. I would also love it if when crafting one of these pieces of gear, maybe, you know, it's guaranteed to have 4 substats. That would be a cool thing as well. Now, when we look at sets, I've been just farming for this set because what I want to do as well is test all the damage dealers against each other, and I feel like this set is probably the optimal way to do that. But when we look forward at the other parts of the game, I can honestly see this physical damage one being really good for all damage dealers because effectively in longer fights, you just get a permanent 25% attack bonus as opposed to 10% attack and 6% speed. And then basic attack on your damage dealers, you're probably not going to be prioritizing basic attack. You're normally going to be using the skill. So I think there's a bit balancing to go on with these sets in general. Yes, they do all have like a different type of damage set, but I think some of them are just raw better, and using another element set is going to provide those characters more of a buff than using their actual element set. So we'll have to wait and see. But like I said, this one I'm just doing because it's a balanced one that I can test with all my DPS, but don't take this as the one you should farm when you play the game. So let's go ahead, let's craft some boots. So from all the farming over the last 4 days, I haven't managed to get myself a pair of boots yet, 5-star boots. So let's go in here. Now, obviously when I'm looking at that, if I'd love to customize it, I'd be looking at trying to get attack or speed, and those are the 2 optimal ones. Now, break effect, niche for some units having it as a main stat, but in general, speed and attack are the 2 ones we're looking for. And then for supportive units, sometimes you'll look at defense or HP, depending on what their abilities scale with, but speed is always a good one to get. So let's hope we hit the 1 in 5 chances getting speed. Like I said, if we had this item, I'd be able to do it, but at the cost of 100, I'd love to be able to just customize that straight off the bat. But hey, let's roll the dice. Let's see what we get. Synthesize. We're using our extra, what are they called? Relic remains and our just credits to go ahead and do it. Let's see what we get. There it is. Okay, so how many substats do we think we're going to get? So we got attack percent with 3 substats. And once again, this is where we talk about substats and the idea of being able to customize those substats, especially at the cost of 10 pieces of gear. I've got 3 absolute trash substats. You know, when you look at this, if I rolled attack percent as the main stat, the substats I'd be looking at getting are going to be speed, crit rate, crit damage, flat attack, okay, as a 4th option. But normally, you know, if you've got something that does debuffs, you're going to want effect rate. Otherwise, in this game, break effect is also going to be a good one on your main DPS as well as a 4th substat. So really, we didn't really get any of the main substats that we're looking for. Obviously, we can go in here and we can go back and we can enhance that 3 times and see what we get. Maybe we land with a crit rate or something like that, or a speed. We'll have to see. So let's jump into those boots themselves. Let's go details. Let's go not backstory. Let's go enhance. And then let's just chuck this up to level 3 and see what we end up with as the next substat. And we get break effect. So like I said, that's an okay one, but in general, this is just another trash piece of gear that I would ideally scrap and put towards the next one. But you know, let me know your guys' thoughts on the crafting system. Like I said, it's really promising that they are implementing a system where you can select the main stat, but it is very, very expensive. And looks like you're only going to get one per month. Based on what we have in the game, it could increase. I think a much higher income for those items to be able to customize it would be a really good thing. And like I said, maybe leeching it into maybe some sort of substat selection, maybe substat rerolls like I've seen in other games as well, would be really nice. But that is where it's at the moment with the gear customization style of thing. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.